Okay, so welcome to day 2 of Jenkins. So yesterday we have discussed how to install. So complete introduction about Jenkins and what is CI/CD and continuous deployment. The difference between CI/CD and continuous deployment we have discussed, and the installation in Windows operating system. Now today we are going to install the Jenkins inside of EC2 instance, that is Red Hat. I am going to use a Red Hat EC2 instance, and that should be the minimum requirement. You have to use a 4 GB at least, then only it will be faster. Otherwise it will take a time for 2 GB RAM and all. So I have my EC2 instance. Let me check how much I have used. So I have used large, so it will be 4 GB of RAM. So while creating only, you can select which instance type you want to create. So it will be 4 GB of RAM. I have two CPUs. Okay. Now security groups will be, the minimum is 22 port. By default it will be allowed, and then 8080 for Jenkins. So I have enabled both the ports and I logged into my EC2 instance. Now first step is we have to install the Java. So for Java installation, you can run the command yum install java-y. So it will install the Java. So I have already installed the Java. If you don't know, you can see my previous videos. I have already installed Java in Maven class, right? Maven and Tomcat. I have installed Java. That's why I am directly going to installation of Jenkins. So we have to go to the this particular URL. Otherwise, you can directly search for Jenkins install in Red Hat Linux. So if you go here, Jenkins installation in Red Hat. If you search like this, you will get installing and configuring Jenkins in Linux. Here also you will get it AI overview. You can follow the same steps, and also you can open the official website of Red Hat. Here you can see prerequisite installing Jenkins. Java should be there. So currently Java 17 or 21 should be available. 21 or 25. 26 is not supporting. Yesterday we have already seen the issue. And if you are installing the this Jenkins in the new server, then you have to install yum as well. Uh, yum install wget -y. So currently I have already, so it will show already installed. So if you are using for new server, then you have to run that particular command. Then you have to use wget this particular repo. So you have to get the repo of Jenkins. So it will show repo is saved. Next you have to run the command import rpm import the particular key. We have to import it. So certificate does not have. You can directly go to yum repo list. You can check the status of Jenkins. It will be installed, but okay, currently it is not installed. Let me check. So I will run once again. rpm sudo yum install Jenkins. So it will install Jenkins. Once we added the package, then only it will install. Otherwise, it won't install. Now you can check the status by using command systemctl status Jenkins. So it is installed, but it is disabled. Now what we have to do? Start Jenkins. So it will start the Jenkins in 80804. By default, 8080 port for Jenkins. So it is started. If you check the status, it is active and running. Now what we have to do to access the Jenkins, you have to go to your browser and copy the public IP address, then 8080 port. So I have given same in the notes as well. So once it is running, you can start the Jenkins or enable Jenkins. You have to run it by using IP address and 8080 port. So in the Windows, when you run this one, it will show same in the Windows also, but in Windows in the terminal itself it will show a particular password, but here it won't show in the Linux. So we have to go to that particular path. You can go here and do cat the path. If you provide, it will display the initial password. You have to copy it and paste here. Continue. So that is initial password. Without giving that, it won't proceed further. Now install suggested plugin. So it will take time. So in the Windows we have discussed in the previous class. You can go through my previous video. That is Windows installation. Other way also we can install the Jenkins. So that is how in Linux you can check the Docker hyphen version. If Docker is installed, Docker I have not installed. Let me go to my another server. It will take time. So in that time I am going to install Jenkins by using Docker. So that is also helpful in the real time. We can use Docker as well. So just a start instance, then connected here. I will connect to my EC2 instance, connect. So I am using Ubuntu here for Docker. Now I have Docker hyphen version. So Docker images. I have these two images and Docker containers. So Docker containers are there. Now I'm going to pull the Docker pull. So we can go here in the Google if you want to know. So restarting Jenkins installation with Docker. So you can directly use the command docker run -d name Jenkins server restart unless stopped and 8080 port Jenkins home directory we have to set up and we have to use this one. Option 2 is there, that is Docker Compose we can use. Instead of that we can directly use the Docker itself instead of Docker Compose. Docker Compose is advanced level. So one liner command we can use this particular command. So what it will do, docker run -d detached mode name Jenkins server and port 8080. So it will restart unless stopped. So if it is not stopped, then it is not going to restart. Then Jenkins home directory we are setting where Jenkins home, and then Jenkins is a Docker hub. If you go to Docker hub, you can see the image, Jenkins image, Jenkins official image. So this image you can directly pull it and you can create the container as well by using docker pull, just a simple command. So currently I am not using, right, so I will use the docker pull. So it is pulling. So that particular command it will all together it will run. You will get confusion. That's why I am using docker pull only. After that we can use it docker run command. So Docker images. Jenkins 2.60 it is created. Then you can run the command docker run hyphen d hyphen p 8080. Then you have to provide the name of the container Jenkins, then image name. So it is created. If you check docker ps, this particular one is running. Now how you have to run? Same. You can go here, copy the IP address of this particular instance, the Ubuntu instance. Go here, run 8080. See, same. How to get the password? That is also one of the issue where you can find out this particular one. Check it here, just for checking. So there is no such file or directory. What we have to do, you know, right? We have already discussed in the Docker exec Jenkins -it. So inside the Jenkins, we are going to check it. Cat, see here, it is there. So inside the container, we are going to check for the data, and whatever the data which we are going to get into Jenkins, it will be go here only inside the Docker container. So the Jenkins instance appears to be offline. You may choose to continue configuring a proxy plugin installation. So skip plugin installation if it is online, it is showing. So I will check it once again. Docker ps, sorry. So it is running. So you can skip the plugin installation and proceed further. It will come here. So that one we are not proceeding. I will proceed with the Linux one which we have created. So the plugin installation is completed. Now create first admin user. I am providing username Mohan, password. So save and continue. Once you save and continue, it will ask for the URL if you are using different URL or 800 only. So you can save and finish it. That's it. Now start using Jenkins. This is the home dashboard of Jenkins. That is how you can install Jenkins in both ways, by using the package and by using the Docker image. So install suggested plugins. Mainly after unlocking Jenkins offer, it will be install suggested plugin. It will be recommended because if you select the limited plugins, so sometimes it will miss the some of the required plugins. That's why you can use the suggested plugins, and later once you go to the dashboard, you can install whatever the requirement. If you want any further plugins, you can install it yourself. Okay, Windows installation we have already seen, and best practices, common mistakes, everything we have discussed yesterday, right? So this one we have already discussed. 8080, if it is not available, then we have to check the security groups, firewall and all. So mainly you are going to get the some of the questions like what is the Jenkins master and agent, master slave architecture. This is very important. You should understand well, then only you can answer. And next is continuous delivery, deployment, and CI, continuous integration. The differences you should know. Okay. Next we'll proceed. The interview questions, you can go through it. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. Next we are going to proceed further. Jenkins user interface. This module walks through every major area of the Jenkins web interface. That is where we see in the dashboard. Jenkins is a self-contained open source automation server used to automate tasks related to building, testing, compiling, deploying, every single task we can do it by using Jenkins. Once it is installed, almost everything is controlled through a browser based UI only. So everything will be we are going to use through UI. There is no command line, there is no scripting, nothing. Everything will be running in the browser only. In the real time, so we are going to set up a separate DNS or separate IP address for that, and where we can run by using the same constantly. We are going to use the same URL instead of changing IP address every time whenever restart the Linux server. We will use the constant DNS name, or else we are going to use the elastic IP address, which is it is a browser based UI which is organized around the concepts covered below. So we are going to discuss the main concepts which we have to know in the dashboard of Jenkins. The dashboard is landing page of Jenkins after login. So it will gives an at a glance summary of all jobs configured on the server. So it will display all the jobs. Currently there is no job. You can see welcome to Jenkins, start building a software project. It will show create job. All jobs list. It is a table showing every job or project along with its last status. It can be blue or green, or it can be red, yellow, these kind of colors. And the next weather icons. It will be showing weather icons depends upon the how we are going to build the status of our jobs. Next, it will be showing set up a distributed build, that is a agent. So if you want to set up a master slave agents, then it will go here. So everything we are going to discuss one by one here. Last success or last failure columns links directly to the most recent successful or failed build. It will show as a last success or last build. So it will be showing here executor status, what is exactly status of last build, and what is there anything. It will display here the nodes, and build history. It will show the history of the build complete jobs list. It's going to show, and build queue. If there is any queue for the jobs, then it will display here. Last duration, how long the most recent build took on. People shows all the registered Jenkins user. So if there is any multiple user, then it will display here. And next we are going to see here builds, my views, accounts, appearance. These and all the user level settings, profile username, then builds or any builds, then views, different users you can create. You can create a folder as well. The folder you can create it here, the new item. So manage Jenkins is a links to admin area where we can do all the work within the Jenkins. So this is the settings level. You can go building on built-in node can be security issue. You should set a distributed builds, that is agent, master and agent, that we'll see later. So here we can system configuration, security and status information, then troubleshooting. All these will be different modules. We can see tools and actions. So we are going to see everything will be useful here. When it comes to system configuration, it will be the system, tools, plugins, nodes, clouds, and appearance. How we are going to make it, the use of that we'll see. So first is manage Jenkins. So manage Jenkins is nothing but this is the one, manage Jenkins. When we click on the manage Jenkins, the settings button, it will come manage Jenkins. So first is system configuration, this. Next is security. Next nodes, system, security, system, nodes and clouds, plugin, status information, tools and action. These are the different models we have. In the first system configuration, you can configure the global settings like system message, number of executors, and we can create different environment variables. You can go here, system. You can see here the home directory of Jenkins is varlib Jenkins. There you can find all the data. You can find out all the information about this one. Jenkins location, the URL here, and then system admin email address. global properties like disable deferred wipeout in this node, disk space monitoring threshold. If you want to enable it, then you can enable them. And what is the free disk space threshold and warning threshold, temperature, temporary, sorry, not temperature, temporary space, how much required, everything we can configure here. So main details we are going to see. So HTTP proxy configuration you can set up. If you want to run this particular one into different server, you can set up the proxy as well. So all the details you can find out here, and also we have to set it up the notification, default notification URL where we want to get it. And then is GitHub servers. If you want to add the GitHub server, then you can add here the API. If you have API URL, that will be for GitHub server API. By using API, we are going to add it. Global config. So Git plugin, we are going to set up the username and value for that particular account. GitHub account, we are going to configure here. Shell executable and extended email notification. So each and everything we are going to discuss the particular topic which we are going to explain. So we can come here and we have to set the global variables in the manage Jenkins system configurations. And after that, you can just apply and save it. That is how we can use system configurations. Next is tools. So configuring a tool. So if you install the one particular tool, the default Maven settings, then default global settings provider. If you want to JDK install inside, installing JDK inside the Jenkins, you can add it here, and you have to provide the name of that particular. You want to create Java, then you have to provide Java and Java home directory, then install automatically. So if you click on this one, it will install it. Add the installer. So if you want to extract zip or run batch command or shell command, so based on that, it will be running here. So just you can go here, add installer, shell command, you install. Home. So then you can apply and save it. So once it is saved, it will automatically install here itself. Then git installation, it will automatically install. You can use it here. What exactly you want to create, and then apply, save. So installation will be done here in the tools section. Next is plugin, where we are going to use a plugin installation. By using Jenkins, we can install like updates. If there is any updates available for your installed plugins, then you can see here. And if you want to install particular plugin which is not installed, then you can see here. So for now, Git is already installed. Installed plugins you can see in the installed section. So Git is installed, Git plugin it is showing here. Available plugin, if you go Docker, see Docker is not installed. You can just click on it, install it. Like that you can use installation of plugins. So security is a configure security realm authorization strategy. The production purpose we use, and system is manage users credentials and global properties. Next, nodes and clouds, like adding the node or removing nodes agents we are going to use. Next is commonly used subpages, configure system. So these are very important, as I mentioned here. Configuration in the system. If you click on system configurations, this is the one. Global tool paths, mail server settings, system-wide environment variables we are going to set up in the configure system. Then global tool configurations, define installation for JDK, Git, Maven, everything we are going to define the installation in the global tool configuration in the tool section. Next, manage plugins, available, installed, updates, advanced tabs we are going to see in the manage plugin section. Then configure global security, authentication and authorization setup we are going to use. Script console, run any script, Groovy script against the Jenkins instance. We are going to use a script console. Then system log, view real-time Jenkins log for debugging. So if you see system log, where it is, script console is, we are going to run the Groovy script against a Jenkins. I think my server is free, so it is getting slow. Uh, here I have used here. We go to my server once again. Linux demo. Connect. So this one I'm not using. So I'll exit. Free-h, if you check, total 3.5, used 1.1. Okay, it is available, the data. Still it is running slow. So this one you can write the Jenkins script in the Groovy language. We are going to run it and we will run it here to check it. So like println, we can run just a sample queries we can run here. So if you run, the result will be showing in the output below. So API is checking purpose we use, but the main script we are going to run in the jobs only. The next is nodes. So nodes is nothing but master agents. We are going to use a node, also called agent or slave, is a machine that is a part of the Jenkins environment and capable of executing builds. So it is going to executing the builds when we use a nodes here. This is our nodes. We have to create a new node here and configure monitors. So if you create a node, the details we are going to provide permanent agent and we will provide which agent we require. So why use multiple nodes? Distribute the build load across several machines instead of overloading the controller. So the controller is Jenkins where we have installed Jenkins. So this is a Jenkins server where we have installed and all the data will come into this one only. But the server is getting a load of high load, then it will be getting slow. That's why we are going to use a distributed method, that is a master slave architecture. It will run the builds on specific operating system or architecture. It can be Windows node or Linux node. Isolates builds environments with a different tool chains or dependency versions we can maintain. So it will be isolate build environments. It can be different tool chains, different versions we can use it. There is no connection between different nodes. Improve scalability for large teams with many concurrent builds. So for large teams, we are going to use a concurrent build means one build is going on, another build should not wait. It will be running concurrently. It like one by one, it should be running in the Jenkins. Then we use master slave architecture. The node concept is very important to understand. That's why I'm explaining multiple times. Controller is master, agent is node, master slave. We can call it agent or node or slave. We can call it. And for master or controller, coordinate builds, schedule jobs, and can also execute builds if executor are enabled on it. So it will be running coordinate builds, scheduling jobs, and execute the builds based upon the how we are going to configure it. Agent or node, a separate machine container connected to a controller that actually execute the build steps. So the build step only runs in the nodes, that is a slaves. Executor, a slot on a node that can run one build at a time. A node can have multiple executors to run builds in parallel. So multiple executors will be there to run builds in the parallel level. That's why we use multiple executors in a node. The labels is nothing but a group of nodes, tags assigned to nodes. It can be Linux. If you use a Linux, all the Linux server will be into that particular Linux label. So it can be having two or three or four multiple. So jobs can be restricted to run on matching nodes. So well, for example, so you are going to create a label Linux, next label I'll provide Docker. So while running the inside the label nodes, we have like node 1, node 2, node 3, and here nodes will be Docker 1, Docker 2, Docker 3. Different names should be there. And while in the job, we are going to mention, if you mention the name of the node as node 1, if you mention as node 1, then it will wait for the node 1 only. If any other jobs running, it will wait for that to complete, then it will run in that particular node. But if you give the label as a Linux, and then what it will do, it will check for the nodes whichever is available, node 1 or node 2 or node 3, any one of the node is available, then automatically the master node will be control them, and it will schedule a job to trigger in that particular node. If node 2 is available, then it will go for the node 2. And if same, if you give the in job, if you give as Docker, then it will check for the Docker label nodes. Like that it will do. So that is a group of nodes, we call it labels. So adding a new node, so you can go to manage Jenkins, nodes and new node. If you click on new node, choose permanent agent, number of executors, remote root directory, labels and usage. Use this node as much as possible only for jobs matching labels. Then choose launch method. It can be launch agent by connected to controller or launch agent via SH. Then start the agent process by using this one. So let me check it how we can do it. So where we have to go, click on node name we have to provide. So we have to give the node name here. So node name we can give like node 1 I will give. So then permanent agent we have to select. Then we have to provide the description. This is Linux node. Then number of executors you can give any number. Remote root directory. So you have to provide the remote root directory. So where, for example, I am going to install this in new window. I will use SH here. That's why I am going to use a Docker machine which is already running. I will copy, connect here, connect, sudo su hyphen. So I will create a directory here as Jenkins cd Jenkins. So you can give root agent. Go here and provide labels. I'll give as Linux, and we have to select use this node as much as possible. Launch agent by connecting to the controller. Keep this agent online as much as possible. Node properties disable default wiped on this node. Disk space monitor. This and all I am not going to select it. Just save on it. Then if you see here, node 1 it is created. We have to check the configure again. Apply and save. It is not running. So what we have to do, run from the agent command line. So we have to run this one from the agent command line. We can go here. So agent is this one, docker ps. Let me stop this one. So now I will run the command curl so, and it is not showing anything. So java-jar, and this particular command we have to execute. So Java not found but can be installed with apt install. So Java is not installed here. Let me check. Okay. You install Java y. So this is my Ubuntu. So we have to use a apt install. Enable to install. Open JDK 25. So I think you can use apt install. So Java is installed. Now it is connected. You can see here. Now it is connected, and now it is done. Project tied to node 1. Nothing. If you go back to here, still it is showing like this. So we have to validate it. Yeah, now node is available. You can see the node, if it is showing red, then it is not available. Now it is running fine. Free disk space is 22 GB and everything looks fine. Free temporary space is 1.86 GB. If you see here, it is running fine. So it will be working. So free -h 1.86 GB is available for this one, and it is running fine. Now you can configure it while creating a job. You can mention this particular job need to be run on node 1. You can mention it, then it will run properly. That is how you can create a new node. So if you want to make sure, like if you want to delete it, then you can delete the agent. And status, if you want to check it, you can see here connection was broken. This is Linux node. It was broken, but now it is working fine. I think it is not displaying. Okay, again it is broken. Okay, because I have aborted it, so again I have to run this command. So if I check it, now again it will come up fine. Log agent successfully connected and online. So this is how you can create a Linux agent. Hope you understood, right? I will show once again because this is very important. Click on node. You have to give Linux otherwise node to permanent agent. Copy existing node you can give because it will take from the first node 1 I will give. So all the configurations it will take from there only. See, it is taken, and root remote root directory, you can give the different one if you want to create a new uh, directory. Otherwise I will take it from there only, means you can take from here only. So for example, I will create a new directory here, make directory. See here, agent jar remoting everything will be created already. These are the home directory for that particular node. Now I will create a make directory Jenkins 2, and I will go inside of this one, sorry, cd Jenkins 2 pwd, and this is my home directory for node 2. So node 2 I will give this, and labels Linux, number of executor 2, then keep this agent as much as possible. Then I will click on apply, saved. Now I will go to node 2. Here it will provide the like instructions. Directly you can go here. If you see here, it will be node 1 and node 2 both are in offline, because it should be running the particular command, then only it will work. So now I will check this one, agents are, and I will run the command, this one. Okay, Java it should be. So now it will connect, the node 2 will be connecting. See, you can check the logs here, agent successfully connected and online. Script console, if you want to run the script, build history, if there is any builds running, and delete agent, you can click on delete agent. So I will delete it for now. So if you delete it, this also will throw the error. So it is showing waiting 7 seconds before retry. Did not receive the remoting capability header. That's how we can create a node in Jenkins. The next thing, so this real time we are going to see how we can run the jobs. We have another module, I think. Some module I have already created for that. We'll discuss. Next is credentials. This particular module mainly I am focusing on Jenkins Dashboard, where you should each and every modules you have to understand, each and every section you have to understand, whatever the sections we have here we should understand, and where we have to use them. The next is credentials. The credential system security, mainly the system is securely stores the sensitive information. It can be username, password, SH keys, the authentication tokens, certificates, these kind of, it's going to store with the Jenkins, so that jobs and pipelines can use them without exposing the actual secret values in job configuration or console logs. So it's going to store as a encrypted method, and it will not show the complete information about the credentials. For example, username or password, the username it will show, but the password it won't show you. That is how it's going to show. So you can see here, credential providers.
One thing, Mohan.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to install the Java in my uh,
Okay.
Windows,
Yeah.
actually I'm doing it from the Ubuntu, just as you did. Okay.
Okay.
It's asked me password. What password do you need to give? Like Jenkins password or which one?
No, no, no. Which, how you are using, trying to run the command? What is the command?
Sudo apt install.
So I think you are trying from the normal user, not from the root user. Let me show you. Ubuntu, right?
Yeah.
So if you run the command from here, sudo su apt install Jenkins, sorry, Java. So you are running from Ubuntu user or root user?
Actually, I'm running from my local system. I didn't operate any instance or anything.
Okay, from local, then now how you are running for Ubuntu? You
I
are running
used
in the
to
Windows or Ubuntu?
from Windows. I'm running Ubuntu. WSL minus D Ubuntu. Right?
Okay,
From
okay,
that
from
one.
that one. So what is
Uh,
then it should work fine. If you are it is asking for password, then you have to provide your system password. Try to
system
provide
password.
the system password where you log in, right? Where is
Uh-huh.
login password?
Okay, okay. Got it.
So that password only it will work because we never provide any password for systems, right? Only system login password you have to provide.
Mm-hmm.
While
Okay.
unlocking your laptop, you will provide one password, right? Same
Yeah,
password you
yeah.
have to provide.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
try.
You try it once. If you are facing issue, we'll check it after the class.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So the credential it's going to store. Credential types will be like username with password, SH username with private key, secret text, secret file, certificate. All these kind of will be storing in the credentials only. So if you go here, types, credentials, configure credentials. You can go here and add credential. You can see select a type of credential if you want to store. Username with password, GitHub app, SH username with private key, secret file, secret text, certificate. These are the different type of secret the credentials we can store it with the Jenkins. So username with password is basic authentication like a GitHub repository, Docker Hub, this kind of we are going to provide. SH username with private key, that is SH based Git access or remote server access. For example, you are trying to connect from one server to another server, then we use SH. Secret text, it is a single secret value or token. It is kind of API keys. Then secret file, uploaded file treated as a secret. It can be .fm cube configuration files. Then certificate, that will be mainly for client authentication. We are going to use a separate certificates in real time. So credential scope, global and system we are going to use. Usable by any job on the Jenkins instance, that is a global one. So if you think globally is nothing but all over the world. Same like that, it can be used by any job in the Jenkins. That's why we use global. System is usable only by Jenkins itself, not by jobs. That is a system credentials. So credential domains and stores. Credentials can be organized into stores. Example, global store or a folder scoped store, and domains will be like folder scoped credentials are only visible to the jobs inside that folder. It will be visible, other than that it is not going to visible for others. So adding a credentials, you can go to manage credentials, then credential, then select a store, global or the, then click on add credentials. So if you click on credentials, you can see here store scope to Jenkins. One is system. If you want to only for the Jenkins server, then we use a system. If it is for all the jobs, then we use global, like this, system or global. If you click on system, it will go to inside the system, again it will be global. So these are the variables, different type of passwords. Then select a store, global, then click on add credentials, then choose the kind. So what kind of you want to, username with password. So I am going to provide username with password. I'd use for global Jenkins nodes all. If only for the system, Jenkins and nodes only. So I'm going to use for all because for my jobs I want to use. So I'll use here TechWonders. No, what is the name of my GitHub repository? Even I forgot.
147.
No, this one I will use for now. I have created my separate website, so I have changed my username. So this is a username. Same I can provide the password as well. ID. So ID is nothing. Just we have to provide any ID to memorable ID and description. So for example, I will provide as GitHub account and description credentials for GitHub. So create it. Now it will be stored. Like that we can create a credentials with a Jenkins. So how to use them? Just a simple job I will create just to check it. Here different type of jobs are there that I will discuss. I think we are going to get next only that users use folder build queue history. Okay, next, that is next module. Tomorrow we are going to discuss. For now, I am going to select any job. I'm not going to explain much. No need to take time. So I'll provide demo name. Click on OK. So I want to show you how we are going to use that particular credentials. So demo for credential. So this is the job which I am creating is right. Jenkins job we call it. So most of the time we'll work on Jenkins jobs only. So this is GitHub project. You can select it and you can provide the URL. Otherwise you can go directly to source code management. I'll use Git repository URL. So I'll take any of my GitHub repo. Simple Java Maven app. Click on it. Copy URL and I will provide. Then credentials. See here. You can see credentials is this is a credential which I have already added. You can directly click on it. Even you can add it from here as well for the global. So it is showing an error occur HTTP 500. So I'll go here. I'll check this one. Why this error? I think we have to install the Git. So I'll give here. So we have to install the Git with Jenkins. So what I will do, I'll go back. I don't save it. So installation, where we have to do, we have to go here, tools. If you search Git, here Git installation, default is there. Path to Git executable, we can provide git.exe install automatically. Add installer, save it. Now once again I'll go click on demo, it is there. So build now, if you click on it, it will run. Configure, click on configure, then it will go here. Click on git, get the URL. Again it is showing throwing same error. I'll go back. Settings, tools, add installer. Play, save. Wait, once again I'll check the issue. So maybe the Jenkins git we have to install with the Jenkins, then that's the reason it's throwing error. So we have to provide default placeholder. So we have to provide user bin git. So we have to install Git again inside the Jenkins, then only it will work. So that complete information we have in the different modules. That's why I didn't explain. But I want to show you how we can use the credentials. That's why I want to check it here. Still I am facing issue. Okay, fine. Instead of Git, we'll take another one. So if you want to run the particular commands, then you can go here. Here example I have. So add build step. We can use a shell here. Echo hello world. So if you want to just display something, then we use the here. And if you want to run the particular complete script, then also you can use the echo only. So it will run. So you can go and click on build now. It will build and it will display the number of build here. So this is also failing. So it will display started by user and how much time it is taken, what is the output. So it is showing execution failed. The subscription management repository not updated, not root. So complete build step is failed because we have run as root user here. Let's see what exactly it will tell. Jenkins is attempting to automatically download the configuration suite such as Maven JDK. So Java we have not installed. That's why it is throwing error. So you can go here. So for everything we have to install each and every tool. Now Java is required here. Java installation, add JDK. You install JDK, that is fine. Okay, I'll go here, configure, click on the job, console output. So build to also failed. The subscription management. We have to provide the sudo permission for the user Jenkins. So I'm restarting Jenkins. It will take time. So maybe the Java is required. So it will take time to install the tools, Java, Maven, Git, everything we have to install inside the Jenkins itself. So that we'll discuss later. Let's complete the module. The jobs we are going to discuss in the tomorrow module. So this is how we can create the credentials and we can store with the Jenkins. Next is plugins. Plugins is a extended support which we are going to get from the Jenkins. It will be like almost everything beyond the basic job scheduling like SCM, source code management, integration, notification, UI, cloud providers, everything will be done by plugins itself. And managing plugins will be manage Jenkins. You can go and you can find out all the details. So it is restarted. So manage Jenkins is very important. If you click on settings and you will get the manage Jenkins section. Just search for. So this is the manage Jenkins and here we can get the plugins. This is the plugin section. We are in the plugin we are going to find out available, installed, updates and advanced settings. So all these will be here. Updates is if you have any plugin which is already installed and it is available for update on a like latest version, then it will be available here. You can update them if required. Then available plugins is which plugins you have not installed and you have to install them. You can search for them here, Docker, and install the plugin here. And install plugins, if you go to install plugins, for example, you don't know the particular plugin installed or not, you can check for that plugin here. It will be available means it is already installed. Advanced settings. So advanced settings is manually upload a JPA plugin file, configure the update site URL and set a HTTP proxy. So if you want any new plugin and for that particular details you can update here as a file or a URL from the Jenkins website. So what is the different purpose with the different plugins? You can see here Git plugin is integrate Jenkins with Git repository. Pipeline plugin is enable Jenkins file based pipeline as a code jobs. That is a where we are going to use instead of freestyle we are going to use the scripted jobs. That is a pipeline plugin. Blue ocean is modern visual UI for pipelines. And credentials binding injects credentials as environment variable in build steps. Then email extension advanced customizable and build notification emails, we are going to use the email extension. And Docker pipeline like Docker integration purpose we use Kubernetes for Kubernetes integration. And role based authorization strategy, that is RBAS, that is fine grained role based access control purpose we use. These are the main plugins we can see. And other plugins also which we are going to use like Maven integration and Sonar Cube, and then we are going to use infrastructure as a code. There are different type of plugins we can use. After installation any plugin, we have to restart them, then only it will work, otherwise it will not affect. Next is users. The users page list everyone who has an account on this Jenkins instance and accessible from the dashboard or manage Jenkins users. So if you go to the users here, manage Jenkins users, and you can create a new user here like create user, and you can provide the details of that user. For example, I want to create a user as TechWonders and password, full name TechWonders I will give. So I will create a user. You can see the user details here, and this particular user also can log in this particular URL because I have provided, I have given access for that user. Now I can't here because I already logged in. I can go to private, I'll run. Here I will use Techwonders password. It is not working. So it is logged in. Same like other user also, but the permissions we can define here. If he need only the limited permissions, we can set it up later, like appearance, preferences, all the details you can see here. Credentials, security, so API token, passwords, terminate all sessions. If you want to terminate the sessions, everything we can find out for that particular user. And if you want to delete the user, you can delete it. So that is how you can create a user, and all the users list also we can see under manage Jenkins user section. So create user is manually add a new local user, and remove user is delete user, remove an account. View each user's build history and contributions, and configure their personal settings by using API SH keys. So in the real time, how we are going to provide the different users is we are going to use the LDAP servers, and we are going to get the details of user database, and we are going to create the user for that, and we will provide the credentials to them. Authorization strategy, how permissions are granted, like logged in users can do anything, matrix based security, project based matrix, role based strategy. So via plugins we are going to use these all the settings we are going to use in Jenkins. If you go here, security, so here we can provide like authorization. Logged in users can do anything means here we can provide matrix based security means we can set up the particular security for that users. Anonymous authenticated users, project based, also we can provide different permissions. These and all we are going to see in the module of security models we will discuss, but for now we are going to, I am explaining how the security will be available for the users. So we use authorization strategies for the role based, project based metrics and all. Next is views. Views let you group and filter jobs so the dashboard doesn't become a single overwhelming list. So for example, if you see here, only one job is there, fine. But if you have 100 jobs all listing at a time, then it will be difficult. So if you create a view, so here plus icon, new view. If you create that one, you can provide the name. For example, you have development, dev servers, dev jobs. So you can mention type as a like list view, and reuse subfolders. This and all you can just keep it and apply and save it. So it will be, if you click on all, it will be available like this. If you click on dev, it will be display only the dev jobs. So whichever is add. So currently add some existing jobs. You can go here. So all this, if you don't want, like select the column in this view, status, weather, name. If you don't want something, you can delete it. Last duration, build icon, you don't want, you can delete it. Select the jobs to show in this view. So if you want to select the job, then you can select this one, apply, save. Now it will display here as well. Like that we can create a views, create a folders, list view, my view, dashboard view, and pipeline view. These are the different views we can see. So dashboard view and build pipeline view, we have to install a plugin for that, and we can see that particular views. So creating a view I have given here, same. You can go plus icon, and then you can create a view and we can add the jobs, existing jobs. Next is folders. So folders is provided by the folders plugin, often bundled by default. Let you organize jobs into a nested directory like structure similar to folders on a file system. How you are going to use folders or directories in your system? Same like that, we can create a folders. Inside the folders, you can create the jobs. Useful for separating jobs by team, project, or environment. So in real time, the same project will be having the different teams. In the teams also again sub teams will be there. So at that time we can create a folders and then you can add that particular jobs into that particular folders. Benefits of folders: organization, group related jobs it will be, and under one folder instead of a plot job list we are going to make an organization, same like we do in the GitHub. Scoped credentials, credentials added inside a folder are only visible to the jobs within that folder. So if you add some credentials inside a folder, then other folders can't see the credentials. Like that we can maintain. Scoped permissions, security or authorization can be applied at the folder level. So different teams only see or manage their own folder. So only that particular folder, if you create, only the particular access whoever having the permission for that folders, they can see. So if you go here, plugins, available plugin, I'll click on folder. Allow defining properties for folders which they are inherited. So you can go here, folders, folder properties. You can go here and click on install. So it will install folder properties, loading plugin extension. It will take time, and restart Jenkins when installation is completed. So go back to top of the page. So if you want, you can restart it. It will restart here as well. Jenkins restarting. Safe restart builds on agents can usually continue. So it will take time to restart it. We can do the restart here as well from the server as well. Like that, we can install the plugin and do the restart. So creating a folder from dashboard, click on new item, enter a name, select folder as a item type, then click OK. Then you can create a folder. We have some of the pending items. Let's complete the module today itself. So next is build queue. The build queue is a widget. It is a where we are going to use the list of builds that have triggered for waiting to restart. Then it will display in the build queue. Typically because no free executors is available. I have mentioned right master slave architecture. So when you use a master slave architecture, build queue it won't display here multiple jobs. For example, I think the restart is happening. Okay, restart completed. So one particular job is running and another job will be waiting in the queue. So that is a build queue. So if you use a master slave architecture, then build executor will be taking care and it won't come back to the build queue. So if build queue is already busy with another one, then it will be showing in the build queue. That is the build queue of uh, that is the use case of build queue. See here, if you go here, click on new item and provide the job name. I'll just give job 1. You can see folder creates a container that store nested items. Click on OK. Inside the folder, it's going to create display name. You can provide. So this is the folder which I am creating. So apply, save. So this is the, if you go to Jenkins, you can see here where job folder. So this is the job. This is the folder. Inside the folder, you can see if you want to create a job, then you can create it and new item. Click on new item. Then you will create a different job here. So you can create a job. You can create a folder. Inside the folder, you can create multiple jobs to maintain your project organizedly. So build queue. So build queue is when the particular job is running in the particular executor and there is no other executor is available, then the job will be go to the build queue. So to avoid this kind of queue, we are going to use a master slave architecture. Why build might be queued? All executors on eligible nodes are currently busy. The jobs label expression restricted to a node that is offline or busy. So if the node is not available and it is offline, then it will go back to the queue. Another running build is holding a required lock. So then also it will go to the queue. The job is configured to not run concurrently. So it is configured as not run concurrently means running along with another job, then it will go to the queue again. And a previous build of the same job is still running, then it will go to the queue. A quiet period delay is configured before the build actually start. So a quiet period, some delay is there, the configuration, then also it will be going to the queue and after some time it will start to the executor. Managing the queue, each queued item can be cancelled. So clicking on the X icon, it will be cancelled and from the build queue widget. So if you go to the build queue here, if you click on this kind of icon will be there here, it will be waiting and if you click on that, it will cancel. It is not going to run again and it will clear the queue. Hovering over a queue entry usually shows the reason it's waiting. So it will show the waiting, why it's waiting, what is the time it will take. Admin can review executors allocation on the nodes page to diagnose the persistent queue. So admin can review the executor allocation and what exactly happening, why it is waiting, everything we can see by admin only. Okay, that's it for today because it will take time again, build history and all. So it will go long. So tomorrow we'll continue with the build history. Then we'll start with the jobs, different type of jobs we can discuss tomorrow class. That's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan.